What is going on, guys? My name is Jack McNeil of BaseballEssential.com. The hot stove is heated up. The Red Sox have agreed to the largest pitching contract ever in history today, as they outbid the St. Louis Cardinals by about $30 million, grabbing David Price, one of the best pitchers in the game, was second in AL Cy Young voting last year, won the Cy Young a few years back. He is the top free agent available. Him and Zach Greinke are the top pitchers, and he decided to sign right before the winter meetings. Very surprising, to be honest with you. Usually, pitchers wait a little bit longer, grab that deal. We saw Jordan Zimmermann sign for 5 years with the Detroit Tigers for just over $100 million, and I thought it was a bargain. And now David Price, on the other side of things, not saying it's a bad deal for the Red Sox. They're getting their money's worth with today's market value, but it is the largest contract for any pitcher in history, even surpassing Clayton Kershaw's $215 million contract. David Price will earn $217 million if he stays with the Red Sox all 7 years. He will earn $30 million in each season from 2016 to 2018 and $31 million in 2019, and then $32 million per year from 2020 to 2022. Again, the St. Louis Cardinals were Price's top team waking up today. Price from Nashville, Tennessee, ironically, where the winter meetings will be this year, wanted to play for the Cardinals, or at least had enough interest in playing for the Cardinals, and woke up thinking that he was going to be a St. Louis Cardinal. Now we're hearing the Cardinals had a 7-year offer, but one that was $30 million less, so I would guess around 180 to upwards of $190 million. For the Cardinals, that's a lot of money. They were a mid-sized market that have pushed the boundaries a few times when they signed Matt Holliday or pushed their payroll up to $120 million, 11th in the major leagues, and they always do very well, but they normally don't go out on the free agent market, especially for pitchers. It's usually homegrown talent. For them to offer that much for Price, it's very exciting if you're a Cardinal fan. It signifies they're going for it. They are definitely going for it. But for David Price, he goes with the larger contract, the Boston Red Sox, a team that went into the offseason that needed a pitcher, wanted some relief help. They traded for Craig Kimbrell. Now they sign, in my opinion, kind of the most attractive free agent on the market here for pitching. It's tough to battle with Zach Greinke. It can go either way, but the kind of overall consensus is Greinke is going to go out west somewhere. I mean, you're looking at two of the best pitchers in baseball. Greinke's going to go out west. David Price, who knows? He will now end up, if he serves his whole contract in Boston, in the AL East, his whole career. Now, earlier it was reported by Robert Murray of Baseball Central a few days ago that his number one choice was Toronto. This doesn't necessarily mean that report isn't true, although there's been different reports on that, so I'm not exactly sure. But what this means is that the Red Sox offered a lot of money because J.A. Happ signed with the Blue Jays. They went a cheaper route, and the Red Sox are going all in on it. New general manager Dave Dombrowski, who was general manager of the Tigers, traded, and now signed David Price all in a year and a half time. Went for it here. They obviously had some money to spend if they were able to add on some salary from Kimbrell, and also, of course, on David Price, the largest contract in history. They now have a much better starting rotation. It's not a starting rotation I love by any means, but adding an ace is absolutely necessary. Once they traded John Lester, this team has gone downhill. The record speaks for itself, and I don't think anyone is expecting the Red Sox to be as bad as they were last year. Again, their record 78-84. I actually went to a Red Sox game last year, and the fan reaction to pretty much everything was hilarious from a non-Red Sox fan point of view. But wow, I mean, I could sense so much frustration with the fan base. Very hard to watch that team last year. Give some excitement for the fans going into next year. And for David Price, phenomenal deal here. I mean, obviously he had interest in going to St. Louis. But $30 million more to go to the Red Sox. It probably signifies not an end to the Red Sox offseason, but they got Chris Young as another option on the outfield. They got Craig Kimbrell, David Price, a very productive, very quick and productive offseason for the Red Sox thus far. I mean, we are looking at a situation, a lot of teams waited out the winter meetings. No one expected Price to sign this earlier, and the Red Sox say, you know what, we're not going to lose out on this guy. We're going to go after who we want, and we're going to sign him. And it probably shocked the baseball world that he would sign this quickly. As we've noticed, a ton of pitchers on the free agent market this year, and they're signing quickly. I mean, Jordan Zimmermann signed quicker than I thought. Now David Price. It will be interesting to see Who will be the next to go? Maybe Zach Greinke. It's setting kind of a market standard now as the most expensive pitching contract in history. Let's see if Greinke can top that now. But regardless, let me know your thoughts on the deal. I haven't heard negativity on the deal as of now because this was, people kind of expected a contract around $200 million. If you're Cardinals fans, are you glad that he didn't accept the $180 million contract for the St. Louis Cardinals over the next 7 years, or is this a worthy investment? He has been very durable, very consistent. The playoffs are the only time where there's been some struggle. But again, David Price used to pitching in the AL. I'm sure if he went to the NL with the Cardinals, he would have absolutely dominated. And it'll be interesting to see what other teams are really in on him, whether the Cubs were in on him, or whether the Cubs are going to be a late push to someone like Zach Greinke. In my mind, that makes a ton of sense. We're hearing now that the Cubs are interested in Shelby Miller, and if they got him via trade and traded Soler, then maybe they would go and sign Jason Hayward. I mean, the hot stove is getting interesting. A lot of moves make sense. We'll see what actually happens here. But again, the Boston Red Sox making history today, signing David Price to the largest contract ever given out to a pitcher in history. Thanks for watching, guys. My name is Jack McNeil of Baseball Central. Tune back in. I'm sure there will be plenty more to talk about in the coming hours. Thanks.